Good morning from the kitchen, folks. Today it's a bit of an experimental adventure in brewing.
So my base ingredients, some crushed pale malt and some crushed roasted barley. Now the roasted barley gives it a darker colour and hopefully a more, toasted finish like a stout or a porter. So I've just opened it up and I wish you could smell what I can smell, but it's got a really dark toasted bonfire toffee kind of smell. I'm hoping that this is going to make a really nice flavour. Okay, I've measured out 1 kilo of the barley. So in this brew, I need a kilo of the crushed roasted barley and a kilo of the malt. So there's my first kilo.
Okay, I've got my roasted barley in the pan. I'm adding to that spring water. Now I'm using spring water because the tap water in Leeds has got a little bit of a chloriness to it. And when I make fruit wine with it, it can sometimes spoil it.
So I'm just going to give that a stir in. You can already see the liquids beginning to take on the colour. And I need to bring this to a simmer, and then I need to let it simmer for an hour once it's started to simmer. And then when it's simmered for an hour, then I add the malt.
Now it goes against every instinct as somebody that likes cooking to simmer something for an hour without the lid on, because I know I'm going to lose some of the water. But with this recipe, that's a requirement, because if you simmer it with the lid on, you get a sulphide kind of smell or taste from the malt apparently, which needs to escape. So by simmering it, it lets that escape. And if you don't let that escape, then your end product tastes a bit like cabbages, and nobody wants to drink cabbagey wine, do they? No.
So I'm just playing the waiting game now. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, it's just started to simmer. It's been in the pot quite a while. It takes a long time to bring the temperature up. But you can see the frothiness on top. Look at the colour of the liquid underneath, if you can see. Well, 90 minutes have passed, and this was simmering lovely, but the water level was dropping, so I've added some more spring water to it to top it up. And then I've turned the heat down and just left it so it's at a nice temperature where I think the sugars will be releasing and the flavours will be releasing without it boiling away. So I've left it a bit longer than I was going to do at a lower temperature, in essence. So I need to add a kilo now of this pale crushed malt. So this is a bit lighter than the other. So I've filled the jug up, but I've only got to 820 grams. So I'm just going to add this to start with. And obviously the volume's going to increase in the pot. So I need to be careful that it doesn't go over the top. Oh, this really smells, it smells like a brewery straight away. Wow, that makes a huge difference in terms of the smell in the kitchen. In fact, I'm not going to add any more of the malt. I was going to add a kilo. There's 800 grams. I think that'll do. It smells like Ovaltine.
Well, it's 4 seasons in one day in the garden, but in the kitchen, it's distinctly dark. Look at that portion. So this has been now on a heat and very, very gently simmering for about another hour and a half. I've taken the heat off. I've added more spring water because it had just gone so thick. So I might now actually have more than what I need, but I won't know until it comes to actually pouring it into the demijohn. Anyway, I'm now going to leave it. I want the temperature to come down before I strain it. So I'm probably going to leave it now for a good 3 or 4 hours. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so it's 4 hours later, and now what I've got to try and do is to get this filtered a little bit.
So what I want to try and do is use a sieve to remove a lot of this solid matter. But I obviously want the liquid. Look how inky that is. So just as though I was making homemade jam, I'm going to put it into another sieve. And then I'm going to work it with a wooden spoon to get the liquid out of it. So this is going to take a while. So I shall be back in a bit. Just an update. I'm about halfway through. As you can see, it's quite labour intensive, but the sieves are doing a great job. I'm just wondering what I can do with what's left. So progress update. That's the sieved liquid. That's what I've got left in there, and I'm now going to try and squeeze some more juice out with a muslin cloth bag. I've no idea how this is going to go, but let's see. Yeah, there's definitely liquid coming through. Actually doing better than I thought I would. Oh, it's so inky black. You definitely don't want to do this in a white t-shirt. Right, that's been strained. I've got a pan full of black tar, and the next step now is to put the heat back on and dissolve into it some brown sugar. Got to say, this is definitely a lot more effortful than making fruit wine is. So I've got about 800 grams of brown sugar here. So I want all that sugar to dissolve. Okay, it's just coming to the boil now. I'm going to take the heat off it. And that's it now. It needs to cool before going in the demijohn and getting the yeast added. Hey folks, I decided to leave the mixture overnight just to let it steep and for all the flavours to come out as much as possible. But now I need to warm it up and then I'm going to add it to the demijohn. Okay, it's not quite at boiling, but it's getting close, and I'm going to turn it off now. Now it's time to add it into the demijohn. So there's my net result of complete inky blackness. It's too hot for me to add the yeast to it at this point. So I'm going to let it cool for a couple of hours and then I'll add the yeast. Okay, it's been a couple of hours and it's now cooled down enough to add the yeast. I'm using Lalvin champagne yeast. Now this is not normally the kind of yeast that you would use to make some kind of beer. But you know, this is an experiment and I should be using beer yeast. But I'm going to use champagne yeast. It will make it drier. But because I've put so much extra sugar in, I'm hoping that it will balance out and it will be a good, strong barley wine. So here goes. So that's just the end of one packet. And I'm going to add a bit more from another packet. Right, there we go. So I've got the yeast in. I'm just going to agitate it. Okay, airlock in. And we'll look for some signs of progress. So excellent news. The yeast has only been in 25 minutes and look already. It's activated, it's fermenting, it's enjoying those sugars, producing CO2 which is coming out of the airlock, and that is going to be making my barley wine. So I'm going to now put this away. I will top it up in a week's time just to top the liquid level up to the top, but I'm going to leave it to ferment now for 2 to 3 weeks. Good morning from the kitchen, folks. As you can see, I've got 3 different brews on the go, and I'm just going to top them up a little bit today with some more spring water and sugar, just to get the maximum amount of wine out I can from the demijohns. So I've just got some spring water in a saucepan, and I'm going to add about 200 grams of white sugar. There we go, that's enough, and I just want that to dissolve now in the water. Okay, so you can see that the water has warmed and the sugar has dissolved. It's now a nice syrupy solution. I'm going to turn the heat off because I don't want it to get too hot, because that won't do the yeast any good. So the molten barley, looking like an evil potent brew. Get some refreshing sugar spring water. I'm just going to top that up a little bit with some spring water. Oh, here we go, eruption. I shall wait for that to subside first. You can actually smell this one. This smells evil. Should be a good brew, you know. Okay, I've got the airlock back in. I just need to give this a little clean. We want the muck on the inside, not the outside. I've slightly overfilled it, but it's not touching the cork, so that's okay. Okay, I'm just going to leave these now and make sure that there's no eruptions before putting them back for a little bit more fermentation. So there's been no disastrous floods, and I've got them all back in the living room now, so I shall be coming back to them in a week or two's time. Good afternoon from the kitchen, folks. It's barley wine bottling day. So it's been a week since I last tinkered with this, and it was fermenting furiously, and then about 2 days ago it's just stopped, and as you can see we've now got negative pressure with the airlock, so it's now time to bottle. Because this is such a black mixture, I'm going to use clear glass bottles for effect. I know you're not supposed to use clear bottles for beer, but I'm non-conventional, and if it works for Newcastle Brown, then it can work for me. I won't be keeping them in the sunlight. So you probably can't see on here, but the sediment level goes to about there, which means I'm not going to get any more than 5 bottles out of this. If I get 4, I'll be happy. If I get 5, it's a bonus. But I'm not going to go for beyond 5 because I think I'll end up with too much sediment in the bottles. Airlock out. It looks evil. So before I begin siphoning, I'm just going to add a teaspoonful of sugar into each of the bottles. And what this will do is it will hopefully cause secondary fermentation inside the bottle, which will prime the beer and give it a little bit of fizz. Siphoning tube in, being careful not to go too low, and then I'll just have to take it down gradually. Right, the fun bit. Here goes nothing. And look at that, that is crude oil. I thought my coffee porter was the blackest brew I've done, but this barley wine beats it. Okay, I've got 5 bottles, 5 full bottles. Well, I've done really well. I've just stopped above where the sediment begins because I don't want a load of sediment in there. But I'm really chuffed with this, and I've actually just managed to get a little taster as I was siphoning, and I'm not kidding, it actually tastes pretty damn good. So I've got my corks warming in some hot water just to soften them, to make them a bit easier to go in. And when I say corks, I mean plastic stoppers. Okay, so these will just push in, hopefully, easily. Yep, number 1. Number 2. 3. 4. 5. And And then I need to put the cages on the corks, or on the stoppers, because when that secondary fermentation does happen, then pressure builds up, and if I don't put these on, corks will pop. Two, three, four, there we go. So all that remains now is to wash the bottles down. There's a bit of residue on the outside of some of them. It's sticky, not particularly pleasant, and we don't want sticky bottles. So there we go. 5 black bottles standing on my sink. Right, I'm going to put these away for a month, and then the next film you'll see will be me cracking one open and telling you what the verdict is. So until that time, cheers folks. Opening day for the barley wine or porter. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. It's very black and it's probably going to be very explosive, which is why I'm outside. Huh. And that is some thick tar. 0 head, 0 carbonation. I have bought beers like this before. Oh, it has got a bit of fizz. Actually tastes quite nice. It's definitely got some fizz. It tastes like something I've had from, I think, Oh Brother. A really dark, thick, stout. Or is it a porter? It's actually pretty decent stuff. So I think I can say, phew, and it's a success. So cheers folks. Hope you've enjoyed this one. The film that you've just watched is a Moss Home and Garden production. You can find more by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. I'd just like to say thank you very much for supporting my YouTube channel and for watching my films. It really is very much appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to receive future updates about the home and garden films which I upload. You can find my YouTube channel by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. Please click on the red subscribe button. When you've done that, a little bell will appear. If you press that also, then you'll get future updates about the films which I upload. If you like my films, if you like my style of filming, then you might also like my travel channel, which you will find by going to youtube.com/Stuart Moss or type in www.mosstravel.tv. Again, if you could subscribe to that channel, it would be hugely appreciated. If you'd like to get Moss Home and Garden updates on Facebook, then please open Facebook and do a search for Moss Home and Garden, and you will find the page. If you like the page, then you will get future updates on there. And if you'd like to connect on Instagram for home, garden and travel photography, as well as some stories, then my username is StuMoss, STUMOSS. If you'd like to connect on Twitter, then my username is @StuartMoss. And if you'd like to contact me about film usage or any other issue, please just email me on stewmosshomegarden@gmail.com. Once again, thank you very much for supporting my channel, for watching my films. I do appreciate it. I'd just like you all to have a great day.